Hey everybody, welcome to Halo 5 Guardians, where I'm going to show you all 13 skull locations. The first one is the I Would Have Been Your Daddy skull, found in the first mission, Osiris. So after a kind of big battle, you'll come across this Forerunner structure here. The game wants you to go inside, but first, hang a quick left and climb up onto this cliffside, and at the very end of it will be your skull. If this is your first skull you're picking up, you'll also get the Gravedigger achievement 410 gamer score. The second skull is the Black Eye Skull, found in Mission 2 Blue Team. Now, when you get to the reactor room here, before activating the reactor in the back of the room, head up the left side from where you've entered the room, and you should see this little weapons cache and a little short platform here. Jump up onto that, onto the pipe, and then follow that pipe on around, and you'll be up in the rafters. I do recommend taking out all the enemies in the area. If you're playing on a higher difficulty, it could be kind of difficult moving along that pipe with enemies shooting at you. Now once you're up here, just jump up above the Keep Clear sign, and you'll see a grate that you can smash through. Use your little ground pound. And right there in the back corner is your skull. There's also a weapons cache, and I think a Hydra over here. Yeah, Hydra launcher if you're wanting that. And as soon as you pick up the skull, that door that I was just looking at will open, so be ready to fight. But there's the Black Eye Skull. And the third skull is the Iron Skull, found in Mission 3. Now this one is the only skull that you have to be on Legendary to get. You'll reach almost the end of the level. You'll come to this little U-turn here. Make sure there are no teammates in your tank. If you still have your tank, you should have your tank. If you don't, I would reset and try to keep that tank alive. Enemies will spawn right here in front of you. Take them out immediately, and then switch over to your machine gun and look to your left. You'll see this Phaeton flying around up here. Just shoot at it and try and take it down. And if you do it right, it'll explode and you'll hear that Grunt birthday cheer. Now, at this point, the skull could have spawned in one of 3 locations. I'm going to show you all 3. I looked out and it spawned in the first place I looked, but it could be in any one of these 3 places. So the first spot is right here along this back fence. You'll see 2 yellow barrels. I was in the wrong area here. There it is. You'll see these 2 yellow barrels, and in between it is the skull. Alright, and the other 2 locations are back a little bit. You have to do a little backtracking here. The next location is on top of the garage where you picked up your tank. Or where you could have picked up the tank. Still figuring out controls at this point. Just run over here and jump on top of the garage. You can use these rocks to get up here. Head past the grate. And in this corner you'll see a barrel. If the skull is here, that barrel will be tipped over. Just throw a grenade, and it'll free the barrel, and the skull will be found underneath. And then the third possible spawn location for the Iron Skull is out here in this battlefield. There will be 2 archways you can see there. And we're going to go to the farthest archway from the garage. So just for reference, that's the garage where you pick up your tank right there. Turn around, you'll see 2 arches, and it's the archway in the back here. You'll see a couple boxes laying around, and the skull will spawn right behind those. Alright, and the fourth skull is the Blind Skull in Mission 5 Unconfirmed. This area will be filled with snipers, but once you clear them all out, this big old door here will open. Head inside and make an immediate left. Climb up onto this little ledge here. Jump up on the box. And then I had a little trouble doing this. You can just jump up to the rafter. But I was having a little trouble, so I tried jumping up onto the light as well. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Just make your way up into the rafters. And then follow the path on around. You'll see this little cave, and the Blind Skull will be sitting inside. And next up is the Thunderstorm Skull, found in Mission 6, Evacuation. This one is a little weird, so as soon as you gain control, a 2-minute timer is going to start. You won't see it anywhere on screen, but I've got one up there for you, just to keep reference. So just grab a gun goose if you're by yourself. If you have a co-op partner, you can hop in a Warthog, which makes it a little bit easier. But either way, it's not too bad. You're going to need to destroy 4 traffic cones, so here's your first one right outside the gate to the left. And you have to destroy 4 traffic cones within 2 minutes to spawn a 5th traffic cone. Destroy that one, and then the skull will spawn at the very end of the level. It's a little complicated and kind of tricky to do, but if you play this on easy, it should go pretty smoothly. And some pro mongoose driving right there. The second cone's going to be right up here on our right side, just before you enter the bridge, or cross over the bridge. Just turn around, you'll see these stairs and the traffic cones right there in front of it. I know I am going kind of fast, but because I've only got 2 minutes to do this, it's a little tricky getting them all. The third traffic cone is going to be about halfway across this bridge. You'll see a burned out husk of a car right there. Just turn around and the cone will be right behind it. That's number 3. Number 4 is going to be just up ahead in this next area. You'll see a large 6-wheeled truck looking thing coming up right here on our right. We're going to go behind that, and you'll see next to this pumping station is the 4th cone. This one's kind of hard to hit with the gun goose, so you may have to adjust your aim a little bit. Then after that, the 5th cone is going to spawn right up here. You can just follow the path up to the left edge, and then just kind of hug that left side. Right around this corner next to a crashed ship is going to be the 5th traffic cone. Now, if you didn't get the other 4 cones within 2 minutes, this cone will not spawn. And if that cone doesn't spawn, you can't get the skull. Alright, so make your way to the level just like normal. Once you get to the very end, you'll see the giant guardian right up there. He's going to start blasting you with these pulses. And about halfway on this catwalk, before you reach the pelican, is the Thunderstorm Skull. Be sure you don't pass it up or you're going to have to redo this whole level, and that just sucks. And the next skull is the Grunt Birthday Skull, everybody's favorite. This is on Mission 7 Reunion. After the very first encounter, or just before the very first encounter with the Covenant in this level, you're going to follow this path to the right. Just follow it on down, and you should hear some singing from a grunt. This is a cool little Easter egg here. Is it an Easter egg? It's a thing. It's a cool little thing. Anyway, just put the grunt off of the edge, and he'll drop the skull behind him. Now, if you accidentally kill him, you can still punt him. You'll just punt in midair, and then the skull will spawn. It's kind of funny, but there you go. And in the same level at the very end, before you head up to this platform, do not go up to that platform because it actually ends the level right there. Instead, you're going to want to hang right and follow this pathway up the hill, and you'll see this little station here. I don't know what it is, some kind of viewing platform or something. Anyway, just head up onto that, and in the very back is the skull. The skulls are very small in this game, so it may be hard to see, but there you go. That's the Fog Skull. And next up is the Mythic Skull in Mission 8, Swords of St. Helios. You'll come through this little hallway that ends in this huge doorway with a crossbeam that's kind of fallen over. And the skull over here is actually going to be up on this upper ledge there that I was just looking at. It's kind of hard to get to, and I don't think there's any other way up there. I kind of looked around, see if I could find some other easier way up there, but this seems to be the only way. So just climb up the rocks to the right of the door that you walked in from, and you'll see this kind of cross beam here. You need to jump up onto the crack about halfway up this pillar. There it is. It's kind of a tricky jump, but you need to get there, and that gives you enough height to reach the top. Just mantle your way up carefully. There you go. You're up on the top. Now we're just going to make a huge leap over to the platform with the skull, which is right there, kind of around the corner. So I'd give yourself a little bit of room. Start from the flat area here. Sprint, jump, turn, and boost. And if you did it right, you should land on it. If not, be ready to catch yourself with the mantle. And there you go. Once you're up here, just grab the skull. Just sitting right there for you. kind of a tricky one to get to, but still pretty fun. Next up is the Catch Skull, Mission 10 Enemy Lines. You'll get this at the very end of the mission when you have to take on the Kraken. You'll be given a Phaeton here that you can fly up to it, so do that. From the starting area, you just want to fly right here into the middle, and then when you land, head to the right side from where you entered this area. Head on down to the Banshee Bays. There will be 2 hangars, one on opposite ends of the Kraken, so whichever one you end up going to, we'll start that as a reference point. Okay, so for me, I actually made it to the correct hangar door. So you'll see the Banshee spawn over there, and if you're facing out the hangar door, then you'll see a green room on your left. If the green room is on your right when you're facing out of the Kraken, then you'll need to head to the other Banshee Bay. That's about the only reference point I can give you. Now from here, you can just kind of sprint jump onto this ledge. It can be a little tricky of a jump, and I'm sure there's an easier way up there, but this is what I had found. You can probably use that ledge right there on the right next to it to jump up there. But anyway, if you just sprint, jump, and boost into it, you should easily make your way up this little ramp, and then climb up to the roof of that green room. You can see there's the Banshee spawns, and your skull will be hanging out up here, just above the green room. Next up is the Cowbell Skull in Mission 12, Battle of Suneon. I think that's how you say that. The Arbiter is going to be a total badass right there, and we're just going to sprint right on past, avoiding all the enemies. You don't need to necessarily avoid all the enemies. You can stop and fight if you want. I just wanted to do this very quickly because a Warden fight does start in this area, and I wanted to grab the skull before the fight began. So run all the way to the back here, kind of where the Warden will spawn. You'll see the Giant Guardian drop down off of this metal plank here, or this metal beam, and the Cowbell will be right underneath. Mission 13, Genesis. This is the Tilt Skull. This is about halfway through the mission after another Warden battle, and just after crossing a light bridge. That light bridge there. You'll be in this big open area, and you'll see a dead hunter. I swear I didn't do it. Just hang a right from that body, and follow the path up and around. Until you see this little barrier here. Now from the barrier, just turn left. You'll see some rocks you can jump up to. Jump up there, and you have to jump up all the way up to the top. So can I go into this corner, and you could easily mantle up from here. And then once you're at the top, you should see this little platform there. Just turn right around, and the skull will be on the edge. Next up is the Famine Skull in Mission 14, The Breaking. Yet again, at a Warden fight, just as the Warden spawns in, head to the left or the right, doesn't really matter which way, and head underneath where the Warden has spawned. And it'll be this long, big hallway. The only thing in here is a skull, so it should be pretty easy to find. It's one of the easier ones there. And finally, we're on the Tough Luck Skull, Mission 15, Guardians. This is the very last one, very last mission. You'll come to this huge open area with the pyramid and the ball on top. This is where you have to destroy 5 or 6 of those gamma cores. I think that's what they're called. Anyway, just to the right of the pyramid, you'll see a crashed pelican off in the distance. That is where we're headed. Stick right up against the pyramid and just kind of follow the path on around. There's going to be a lot of enemies over here, so I recommend clearing them out first. It'll make this a lot easier. Alright, so from up on this platform, you can see the pelican right there, and you can kind of see in the rocks a little black dot. That's the skull we're going for. So climb up onto this icy ledge here. We're going to have to do a series of somewhat tricky jumps and maneuvers here. It's pretty easy to fall, so be careful. And then right here, you want to sprint, boost, and then mantle up, and there's the skull hiding in the rocks. Pick that up, and you will get your grave... What is it? Gravelord? Gravelord, yep. Gravelord for 40 gamer score for finding all the skulls. Thank you very much for watching this video. I know there are a ton of skull guides out there right now, so I really appreciate you checking this one out. If you want to check out some more Halo 5, be sure to check the link on screen or down in the description. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later.
La da dee do do, la da da da.